I'm here to talk about, as Peter mentioned, the next step in how we collaborate together. We call that exchange. It's designed around partners for partners, and it's extremely digital, so it must be at the right event. But before we do that, I just want to put it in a little bit of context in terms of some of the digital transformations that we all know well, but are that accelerating at a pace we haven't seen before. If we talk about IoT, and trust me, this is not a room I need to talk a lot about connected devices. You guys have been doing this for decades and decades, but it's important to put connectivity in context. If you look at the small line on the chart, that's people. That's just you, me, every other person connected with a phone, connected to the web. That small little line, that consumer digital transformation has driven trillions of value. When you think about the Ubers, the Airbnbs, the Googles, the Apples, it's paced slower than IoT, but the difference is the way it's been connected. And that next generation, as Peter said, between the convergence of IT and OT, is when you're going to see connected objects start to realize some of that same value that we see with connected people. And that's the opportunity that we're talking about today. Now, where does that opportunity come from? Data is data. But where you get the power and the value is predictability, right? Waze is signing service agreements to predict traffic in my town in France. Services contracts we couldn't imagine even 2 years ago. So in the industry space, we talk about predictive maintenance as the very, very beginning. But when IoT data starts to act like IT, like digital transformation, you can predict anything. Imagine predicting the price of raw materials. Imagine predicting the emissions of the customers you support, their energy consumption. If you can predict it, it's possible. Now, in addition to AI and big data, we have to acknowledge that the interface is changing. When you connect people and devices, we have to realize everybody's walking around with a remote control. Any device that's out there, on the shop floor, in the plant, on the assembly line, can be augmented with the device that's in their hand. And augmented reality changes the way we look at the solutions we put in place. It also increases the number of data points. This is not just about the physical installation. This is about digitally augmenting the physical installation and generating even more data to drive insights, artificial intelligence, and predictive. Interface is changing fast. This is only the beginning because where it's really headed is voice. If you look at the hottest app developers right now, we're not launching technology on the App Store. They're working with Alexa SDKs. They're working with Google Assistant SDKs. There's no way we can't believe that verbal commands will make it into the industry of the future, the company of the future, the showroom of the future. Verbal commands are right around the corner. It's happening now. Now, if we just go a little bit further out, I want to talk a little bit about a tiny bookseller called Amazon. I don't want to talk about their e-commerce approach. I don't want to talk about their AWS data center operation. I want to talk about distribution. Because if you look at what Amazon does in distribution with robotics, automation, motion cameras, the human interface with screens and designs, you start to see what's possible and really start to imagine that supply chain becomes a strategic advantage of the future. And that ultimately is where we go, because this B to B to C transformation, the fact that every one of our customers has the ability now, with very little CapEx, to go directly to their consumers, renting retail space, renting commerce space, renting data center space, renting fulfillment capabilities, going direct to consumer, means IT and OT is happening faster than ever, and that's a lot of innovation. All that's a lot of innovation. It's happening very, very quick. And I don't have to tell you, nobody innovates alone. And that is where we introduce Exchange. This is our new collaboration platform, built for partners, built with partners, and we will continue to innovate with partners and your feedback, and of course, live data at all times. Well, what is Exchange? Cross-industry, open ecosystem. It absolutely is based on a platform. A platform we've already got a large group of community interacting with, and we hope each one of you take the opportunity to do that as well. It allows you to create and innovate. We're here to talk about innovation. It absolutely brings you some tools and tricks and techniques to do that. Collaboration as well. Community is a big piece of this. Digital, we see breaking down walls. The level of specificity in installations by SIs in a plant in the far-flung corners of the world can find a mirrored operation in another corner and all of a sudden solve problems together. And scalability. We'll talk a little bit about what we call the marketplace. It allows proven solutions that are solving problems to quickly find a market for new customers, new partnership opportunities as well. All of this is baked into Schneider Electric Exchange. What's under the hood? When you go to Exchange, you're going to see 3 ecosystems that are available there for you. One of those is very, very typical in terms of technical innovation. It's all the technical resources you need to collaborate. It is SDKs, because you want to develop on platforms. It's APIs, because you want to connect to platforms. And perhaps most interesting, it's a large number of data sets. We talked about big data. We talked about predictability. You have to play with data constantly to find the ability to predict. So you'll find data sets out there. What else do you see? I mentioned communities. Whether that's public communities, you want to post a challenge, see if somebody solved it, you want to help somebody else solve a problem that they're tackling, the community platform built into Exchange makes that connection for you. And then finally, and perhaps most interesting, is marketplace. When problems are solved, when new digital solutions are available, they can be listed and commercialized on marketplace and find new customers through Exchange in real time with a commerce capability behind it. That's what's under the hood for Exchange. Now, this isn't all brand new. We've got some early adopters out there. We've got some early adopters in the audience today. We've got some early adopters who are demoing in the Innovation Hub for you today, so you can talk about how they're using Exchange. You're going to see a similar trend in how this is working. If we look at SuperTech, they've taken our core EcoStruxure DCS solution, they've innovated on top of that, and now that innovation is listed as a service on Exchange for commercialization. We look at in-use. In-use one, some of you may have participated in our innovation challenge. If we look at in-use, they won that challenge with an approach of around using machine learning, predictability, using the data and showing some pretty significant savings in the process. Cognex, similar process. Cognex innovates on top of the Aviva stack. That innovation drives value. You can see the game that they're playing in there and allows them to also then go to market. And finally, predictive layer. Again, right on top of EcoStruxure, Facility Advisor for retail, collaborating, innovating, and then using that innovation for the next level. Some examples that are live on the platform, and you can actually talk to these partners that are here today about their experience with Exchange. If I put this in context, and you would have seen that with the way some of our partners are working with this, the idea is you know our EcoStruxure stack, you know the offering. We're now augmenting that with Exchange as a new way to innovate, collaborate, and augment and extend that stack for all sorts of specific iterations, all sorts of specific challenges that you may find. The two work hand in hand, whether you're playing in the Viva space, the core EcoStruxure space, or others. Now, this isn't entirely new. Some of you were at Hanover with us this year, where our CEO launched Exchange globally for the first time. At that launch, and you can see since launch, it's happening fast. Over 200 products and services are already listed in the platform. Almost half of those are third party. So think about the pace that we're talking about. Almost half of those are listed by third party. This is directly the heart of Exchange. It's a platform for you to collaborate. Almost half of those are third party. You can see the community growing. 45,000 registered users, regular monthly users in specific communities, and it's happening all the time. This is the very beginning. We want to adapt, we want to grow, we want to continue to evolve this platform with your input, with your success ratio, with your input, with your success. And that ends me with my request, which is all we need to do today, and this is my offer to you, is to join us. Collaborate with us. You are one URL away, and I know there's 100% penetration of these little devices in the room. Exchange.se.com allows you to sign up immediately. If you already happen to belong to any of our partner portals, your credentials work. You're going to go straight into the new environment and experience it. If not, it's pretty easy to log in anyways. There's plenty of help, and this is sort of a one-time only, but because we have the Exchange team in the Innovation Hub, you can even get some hands-on help and service for anything else you need. Okay? That's everything I know about Exchange, and I will look to see you all in the digital world. Thank you.